A little girl, she's barely 5 years old, standing in a quiet Danish field, her dark eyes locked on a grazing horse. She's not just watching, she's listening, not to words, but to a silent hum of feelings, a whisper of knowing that flows from the horse's heart to hers.
You are now entering the realm of the freaky deaky, an unsuspecting stop at the crossroads of fantasy and reality, where the frayed edges of make-believe seep into this cookie-cutter white picket world you've been led to believe is far from extraordinary. What you're about to hear are true stories.
Alleged true stories.
Christian, just... okay? Tales of the strange and inexplicable thought only to exist in film and folklore. Although difficult to accept, we do not know everything about this reality, about time or space, what lies beneath the ocean's depths. And try though we might, the unchanging truth remains. There are some things we legitimately cannot explain logically.
Folks, welcome back to the Freaky Deaky. Clearly, that was an absolutely bizarre opening monologue. Christian, what are you talking about today?
We're talking animal telepathy.
Nice. Everyone has kind of believed it secretly in their heart of hearts. I've had many a cat where I'm like, this cat and I get it.
I think people that have had close relationships with animals get it. The other people, well, they're basically serial killers, so
that's true.
They're not going to connect on that level.
Yeah. I had a cat once wait for me to wake up, come find her before she passed away. She was just in the laundry room, just waiting. My mom was like, yeah, she's not doing too good. You should go see her. I'm like, all right. And I went in there, pet her for a few minutes, and she died. I'm like, wow. And didn't expect to get so sad.
Yeah.
So early in the episode. Way to go, me. Really bringing out the hard hits.
Yes, for sure.
It's fine.
So we're going to talk about, first off, a woman named Ditte Young.
Ditte Young.
Yeah. And she has a business communicating with animals telepathically.
Wow. So you can just make a business for anything.
And let me tell you what kind of she works with, like, the horses that jump over steeples. And so her clients.
Steeples?
Like the Olympic horse.
Is that what those things are called?
There's all kinds of different
I'm picturing
classes.
A giant church, like a classical church with a big steeple.
When you watch the Olympics sometimes and they have the horses jumping over in cross ponds or whatever, and they're dressed in their like, I'm rich.
Yeah,
outfit.
I just call those tiny fences.
That's
bad
not,
fences.
that's
They
not
should be called bad fences. They're the worst fence if you think about it.
Well, we're going to talk about that a little bit. So obviously her business
fence thing or the lady?
The lady.
Okay.
Obviously her business is doing well if those are her clients. But if we have time, we'll mix in a couple other stories that might be animal telepathy.
That's great news. And also, while we're at it, I would like to announce a new business that Christian and I have started where we communicate with ghosts on your behalf. So completely
Go to
real,
the light.
Completely real, not made up at all. It's something that we do for you for the low price of $499.99 per 60-second phone call. And you can do that by leaving a message at 801-997-0051. Ask for kind of a quote, what you're looking for, and we'll play it on the show. How's that? And Christian and I will answer and speak on your behalf to the spirits. You're welcome. Okay, $500.
I'll do it.
That's right, he will. Add that to the holler.baby. Speaking of which, holler.baby / thefreakydeaky for a $9 shout out and or a $29 15-second ad read on the show, folks. We work it in nice and easy. And it's a great way to support the show, and it's a great way to keep us afloat while we meander through these murky waters of ours. And while you're at it, you can also check out the merch, the sticker packs. We got 5 of those bad boys. We got some dope hoodies and t-shirts and sweaters. Emphasis on the sticker packs. Those things are incredibly cool. And they've literally been taking, 3 years for us to put it together. We've been talking about sticker packs for like 3 to 4 years. So it's been a while in the making. A lot of time has gone into putting these things together, and they're available to you now. Christian, you've been trying to say something. What is it?
It's a long process to research who the best sticker makers are.
True.
And to reject the ones that just send back the wrong product.
And on top of that, to get to 30 designs or so and stickers. That's wild. That is wild. Do you understand how crazy that is? Name one other podcast that has as dope of a sticker game as you boys. And I promise you they don't. That's fine.
Unless they're ordering stickers from you.
That is true. I do a fair amount of designing for the podcast, folks. I work in the shadows. It's fine, guys. Honestly, just if you want to support the show, you can donate and or buy merch
at thefreakydeaky.com. Follow us on social media. We've been stuck in the 800 range on Instagram for like a year and a half.
Let's go, let's go, people.
There you go.
I don't know what I was going to call these people.
Let's go, Bobos. It's literally been, we'll get like we hit 800 and then we'll get like to 804, 805. I'm like, oh, cool. Maybe we're actually on pat. Nope. It'll go right back down to 800. And then it'll go to like 799 and then I'll go to 800, then 8. I'm like, what is this? What is this? We are gaining people and losing people at like the exact same pace. So if you want to help us get those numbers up, go over to Instagram, follow us at Freaky Deaky Pod. I don't think is there anything else to get through?
You can use your loved ones' accounts without them knowing. Just hit like and subscribe on whatever it is. They'll never know.
That's true. I think that's it. I forgot to get the holler.baby shoutouts. We'll do them on the next episode, guys. We'll do them on the next episode. Christian, you have the floor. You may talk to us about animal telepathy. I think I got all the weird bits out of the way. But I promise you there's going to be more weird bits in the episode, so you want to stay tuned for that.
So Ditte Young was born in Korea. She was adopted into a small Danish town in 1980, along with her twin sister. So in a place of blonde hair and blue eyes, Ditte already felt like an outsider. But it wasn't just her appearance that made her unique. From her earliest days, Ditte sensed things others didn't. Vibration, she felt the emotions.
Okay, first of all, others did get that as well. They were called the Beach Boys. So I'm just going to toss that in there for you. Nice little nugget. That's a fun fact. You like fun facts.
Yeah, but the good vibrations were like 20, 30 years before this. So they were gone. So anyway, she felt emotions and glimpses of the future. Animals seemed to speak to her more than anything else. She could feel a dog's quiet longing, a bird's fleeting joy. And in a deeply Christian household where talk of spirits or telepathy was dismissed as nonsense, Ditte learned to keep these gifts hidden.
I wish I could get into that. I wish I could open that up for you a little bit, but I can't.
What do you mean?
Spiritual gifts they're not bad, but it's how you phrase it. It
depends on the family. I think it depends on that person's view of,
yeah.
You know what I mean? I think I don't have any idea what Christianity is like in a Danish community, Danish community.
I'm just saying in general, Christianity, you can have spiritual gifts. And so for one, if you're religious, it's a spiritual gift from God or whatever. But if you do it outside of religion, then it's witchcraft. It's very interesting, but
makes no sense.
Someone's going to clear that up for us in the comments. 100%. They're going to be like, what you actually meant was this.
I'll be like, that sounds dumb.
he might actually say that. So.
Yeah. Depending on how you explain it. I get it. I mean, we've all known people or had friends that like and especially because she's so young. I mean, parents are going to get nervous.
Saying, yeah, as a parent, you had a chance to kind of help nourish that gift, flesh that gift out. But instead, you were like, no, that's witchcraft. Get rid of it.
Well, it's also the 80s.
That is true.
Different time.
It's an interesting time for that stuff.
Yeah. So as she grew up, her abilities grew sharper, but she also became more isolated. She wasn't just feeling animals. She was seeing visions of people's deaths, their final moments flashing in her mind like a movie she couldn't pause.
Oh.
So imagine being a child and feeling that.
Made it up.
No, I'm just kidding. That's so bad. I'm just kidding, guys.
So cold.
That's what was her name? What is her full name?
Ditte Young.
Ditte. Damn. How have I not heard about this lady?
I just heard about her recently.
Is it a TikTok thing?
No.
Like the TikTok people talking?
She was on the Telepathy Tapes.
That's right.
But one of the extra shows, not the main show.
Interesting.
So because of her upbringing, she had to navigate this gift alone, but animals became her refuge. She also had a twin bond with her sister. So it also hinted at human telepathy. So
twins.
Like haunts us forever.
We got to get in touch with the boys of the hole.
Yep.
We will text each other like once every 6 to 8 weeks. Be like, hey man, I've been meaning to get back to you. I'm so sorry because we're both doing so many different crazy things at any given time. We need to set up a call and get something going, but literally never happens because we are all crazy busy all the time.
I get it, man.
We're going to do something with them at some point, I promise. But we're also men and making plans is not really our thing. We just kind of free ball it, as Christian said once.
Yep. But mine was a different meaning.
That is true.
So anyway, The Horse Who Saw the Future is the title of this chapter.
Is it Mr. Ed?
No, he spoke about the future.
Can't have two senses now? Okay.
So if we fast forward to Ditte as a young woman, she's already a skilled animal communicator. She's standing in a stable and her mind is tuned to a pregnant mare. She's there to answer a client's question. Is the foal a stallion or a filly? Ditte closes her eyes, grounds herself, and feels the mare's energy.
Can I guess?
Yeah.
It's a filly.
A warm, steady pulse. The answer comes clear as day. A stallion.
Damn it. I knew that. I knew in my heart of hearts, I'm like, you're going to say filly. It's going to be stallion.
Yeah.
Should have gone with my second guess.
And the rich people were excited.
It's only two options.
Yeah, but the rich people get to make a lot more money on a stallion.
That is true.
So
that is true. If you would have let me guess if they were excited or not, I'd say, hell yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
But then the mare turns the tables. Its presence filling Ditte's mind with a startling revelation. It says, and so are you.
The
Ditte's
woman was pregnant with a son.
Ditte's pregnant.
With a son?
I can't
Stallion?
remember. We'll get to that. Her heart skips. She races home, gets a pregnancy test, and it confirms the mare's impossible insight. This wasn't just a horse sensing a foal. It was a creature peering into Ditte's body, seeing a truth she hadn't yet seen.
That's kind of creepy.
Yeah. And for pet owners, I think they have no problem accepting, like I think we mentioned earlier, that there's something there with animals.
Yeah. I'm going to have this entire episode is going to be a revelation for me as well, for the record. Not in the same way probably for you, but for me and my thoughts and my beliefs on things, it's going to open some fun doors for me to think about.
I think it will. That's why I was kind of excited about this one.
No, it definitely will.
So that moment wasn't just quirky. It was a turning point. Ditte was still honing her craft, and she realized animals could reflect not just their own needs, but the unspoken truths of their humans. The mare's message carried a weight of certainty. It was as if the horse, with its deep, soulful eyes. Oh, that one's too much.
Hell yeah. That horse is sexy, dude. This horse is so sexy.
So it was like the horse held up a mirror to Ditte's future, saying, you're about to become a mother.
Are we sure it wasn't a well-crafted yo mama joke?
We are not sure, but I've never heard a yo mama joke.
It was translated
with a Danish accent.
It was translated as your mother, but it was actually yo mama, you know?
It would probably be yo mata.
That sounds like those old comical radio dudes in the 1950s.
I know, but
Spike Jonze, not Spike Jonze. What's that dude's name? Maybe it's Spike Jonze.
Spike Jonze is a director.
Are you sure that's not Spike Lee?
He's a director too.
Dude, this is going to drive me insane, man. Insane. It's fine. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
Like back before TVs and stuff, they had like comedy shows on the radio, and it'd be like someone like with the little whistle.
I know that.
And like they'd be like talking like little skits and stuff on the radio. There was a very popular one that even I listened to as a kid from like way back in the day. God, I got to find that. Scott, look that up.
So this case, one of Ditte's earliest professional triumphs, showed her that animal telepathy isn't just about solving problems. It's about revelations that ripple through lives. For your dog waiting at the door or your cat staring into your soul, it's a hint they might be seeing more than you think. Did you find it?
Huh?
Did you find it?
No.
Okay. We're going to move on. Well, before we move on to that, what do you think about that story?
I think that is pretty wild. I will keep it to pretty much that.
Okay.
I don't know. I just think in animals in general, like we don't know anything about what they're thinking, what they're capable of, any of that stuff, right? We just think, oh, it's another living creature, right? But we find out some pretty crazy stuff about animals, right? That's a superpower. That's not even like just some, oh, what a crazy trait. No, that's a physical superpower that you have been #blessed with, you know?
I agree. We're going to talk about another one, Roxy, the sensitive princess. So Ditte's on a podcast miles away from a dog she's never met, but she's tuning into its spirit like it's sitting at her feet. The host mentions their dog, Roxy, who's a bundle of fur with a knack for whining at the window. Without hesitation, Ditte's intuition flares. She's a sensitive princess, she says. The words land like a thunderbolt, and the host laughs, nodding. They know exactly what she means. Ditte explains Roxy's archetype, one of 6 she's developed to decode human or animal personalities. A princess, she says, craves clarity and validation, thriving on structure, but wilting under pressure, which probably, when we heard princess, we probably thought a little differently.
A little bit. I was thinking prissy and
right,
pretentious and self-centered. And
Roxy's anxious pacing, her whimpers when left alone, they're not misbehavior. They're a plea for understanding and a cry for a human to say, I see you and I'm coming back. Having heard some of her interviews, that seems to be a general thing that you should be saying to your animals when you leave. So
You're supposed to tell them, like, I'll be back in a little bit?
yeah.
I'm pretty sure I do that.
I did that with Bristol all the time.
Yeah, but what's up? I
Or-
mean, doing it with cats is crazier because it seems like you're almost nuts because they don't have much of a reaction. But it is more, for me, it's more of a comedic effect. Like
I used to do it to Bristol. Bristol's the dog I used to have, for those out there that haven't heard of her. But when I'd be going to the slope, so I'd be like, I'm coming back in 2 or 3 weeks. And she was pitiful every time I went to the slope.
that does check out.
Ditte's telepathic read of Roxy revealed more. The dog needed her humans to speak their plans aloud, to paint mental pictures of where they're going and when they'll return. The host had already started doing this, saying, Roxy, I'm off to work, back at 5, while picturing the clock. And the change was electric. Roxy's chaos melted into calm, her whining replaced by a quiet trust. Ditte's insight, delivered through a telepathic connection across distance, wasn't a party trick. It was a lifeline for a pet owner desperate to ease their dog's heart. Now, the next story, the pigeons and the goldfish. I'm not familiar with this story.
No way the goldfish.
I don't know, man.
100% not the goldfish. Isn't that the animal that has like a 5-second memory?
But it's a living creature.
Sure. And how would we know it has a 5-second memory? Like, what tests are you doing on a goldfish to see if it has a 5-second memory, you know?
It has to do with the goldfish bowl and a pathway, probably. I've heard what it is. I just don't remember what that thing was. Come on, you know I'm a nerd. I read all kinds of crap. Nobody cares.
It's fun sometimes, you know?
Not every animal Ditte connects with is a soulful dog or a majestic horse. Sometimes it's humble creatures, the ones we barely notice, that surprise her most. Pigeons, those annoying-ass birds in the city, pecking at crumbs. Well, she believes they are. Ditte once tuned into a flock, curious about their inner world. And what did she hear? A relentless, single-minded chant. Can you guess what this chant was?
Food.
That is exactly what it was. Food.
Yes, hell yeah. It had to be that or the seagull thing.
Yeah.
Which means that Disney Pixar in Finding Nemo kind of got it right.
They did.
With the seagulls. Like, mine?
With the seagulls, once it said mine, everybody, fucking seagulls. That's exactly how they are.
Yep, that and toddlers.
Over and over, like a broken record, their thoughts were a laser-focused obsession with survival. It was simple and almost comical, but it showed Ditte the raw honesty of telepathy. Animals don't hide their truth. Then there's the goldfish. Everybody knows what the fuck goldfish is. I'm not going to explain it like last week's episode.
Thank you.
They're often dismissed by Scott as brainless.
Just the once.
Ditte, ever curious, reached out to one during a session. Its thoughts, a loop of the same question asked 10 times in a row. Where's the food? Where's the food? Each time it forgot it had asked. That was this is like a telepathic part of this podcast.
Yeah, I'm seeing the future as it is. I'm pretty great at that.
Yeah. Ditte laughed, but the experience taught her something profound. Telepathy isn't about intelligence as we define it. It's about presence. That goldfish, with its fleeting memory, was fully alive in the moment, broadcasting its needs with crystal clarity. Now that we laughed a little bit about the dumbass goldfish and the annoying-ass pigeons.
We weren't judging it or, trying to stomp them out. Dude, we were just acknowledging that they're kind of stupid.
R.I.P. Zeke 1 through 8.
Zeke 1 through 8.
I don't remember how many number Zekes I had, but when I was a kid, I had goldfish, and they were all named Zeke.
Wow.
And they all died.
Yeah.
Except for Robin. Well, Robin died.
One time, probably from being called Zeke.
Yeah. One time, we had a female goldfish in there named Robin after my cousin. Very quickly, Robin started swimming upside down. You can guess what happened next.
Yeah, they all... I'm sorry. You had a goldfish that were just taking... I don't often joke about such topics, but when it's goldfish, it's hard not to, you know? But at the end of the day, guys, this is a professional podcast, all right? And you should know by now that this is what happens with professional podcasts.
We've been trained professionally to offend people.
It's meant to be entertaining and offensive.
Yes. So now we're going to move into some sadness.
Oh, and sad too as well. Entertaining, offensive, and sad. So really the trifecta there, if you were wondering, and this is the first time you're hearing the show, thank you and welcome and goodbye.
And it's The Dog Who Lingered in Grief. So this is some of Ditte's most heart-wrenching work. And it's when animals cross over or don't. In one unforgettable session, a grieving pet owner came to her, haunted by the loss of their dog. They hadn't just lost a pet, they'd lost a piece of their soul. Ditte, tuning in without knowing the home's details, felt a present, a soft, familiar rhythm. You hear snoring sometimes, don't you? She asked. And it's not your husband. It's your dog. The owner's tears spilled over. They'd heard it, those phantom snores echoing in quiet rooms, and thought they were losing their mind. Ditte's words were a lifeline, confirming their dog's spirit lingered not out of pain, but out of love.
She not only does this with real living animals, but she also is in the astral plane or the spiritual realm.
I told you she was able to see some people when she was like a kid, 5 years old. She could see glimpses of people's final moments.
That is true.
So
weird. This lady's got it all, you know?
And if you guys are wondering more about her, you can find her online. She's got a great website. She's on a lot of different things on YouTube. Check her out. She's kind of cool.
Has she been verified? Has anyone looked into these claims? No, I'm just, I got to be the skeptic on this one, Christian, because you're reading it. So is she sure that her mind didn't make any of this up?
I told you, I've been on a telepathy kick lately. And so you're going to hear some stuff going along those lines here in probably the next couple months. I could get on board with that.
Well,
if you weren't such a skeptic. So Ditte's seen it time and time again. Animals staying close after death, especially when bonds are deep or passing's traumatic. She describes dogs who wait, their energy hovering like a warm shadow until their humans find peace. In this case, the dog snoring was a message. I'm still here watching over you. Must have been a pug, right?
So check out.
Ditte guided the owner to speak to their dog to thank it and release it with love. The snoring faded, not because the dog was gone, but because the owner was ready. Here's one. It says, for every pet owner who felt their... Oh, I just got that song, man.
Yeah, it's the one, isn't it? No, it's In the Arms of an Angel by Sarah McLachlan. Damn it.
Yeah, that's what was
They both work, though.
That was the one on all the pet commercials.
Yes.
And I liked Sarah McLachlan before that. I never liked that song, though.
I never liked Sarah McLachlan, so there's that.
I always did. For every pet owners who's felt their cat's phantom leap on the bed or smelled their dog's scent long after they've passed, Ditte's work offers solace. We're going to move on to the dolphin's lesson in oneness.
I really don't. I don't want to hear what the dolphins have to say. Can I just say that out? I'm going to say that. I really have no desire to know what the dolphins are thinking.
Why?
Because the dolphins are vicious creatures, Christian.
No, they aren't.
Christian, you've heard the stories. I know you've heard the stories. Don't make me say the words.
Sounds very close to humans to me.
Yeah, no, very close to humans, but that's what makes it, you know?
You know what? I'm reading. Shush.
But you know the stories, right?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. All right, guys, don't look up the dolphin stories, okay? I'm begging you, do not look that up.
So Ditte's telepathic reach extends beyond pets to the wild, where her encounters with dolphins shine like a beacon.
Oh, I bet they do.
She was on a boat in the Maldives, and she sat silently, her heart open to the ocean's pulse. Feeling like an intruder, she sent... Oh, I like this story. I remember hearing this one. Feeling like an intruder, she sent a telepathic apology to a pod of dolphins below. She said, I'm sorry for being in your ocean. Their response was a wave of clarity, a collective voice that hummed through her. No, you misunderstand. It's not our ocean. It belongs to all of us. And she said that those words hit like a thunderclap, revealing truth humans often forget. Animals don't think in terms of ownership, but in unity.
Wow, we are the world, you know?
Yeah. The dolphin's message wasn't just a moment, it was a philosophy. This encounter wasn't about tricks or commands, it was about shared existence. Ditte sensed the dolphins' emotional intelligence, their ability to communicate as a group, their thoughts weaving together like a song. For pet owners, this resonates deeply. Your dog's loyal gaze, your cat's quiet companionship, they're part of that same oneness. Ditte's dolphin experience invites you to see your pets not as possessions, but as partners in a greater dance. Their hearts link to yours through a telepathic thread that spans species and seas. Okay, this section is called How You Can Hear Them Too. Do you remember didn't we do an episode on how to communicate with aliens way back in the beginning?
It was a summer break episode, yeah. I do remember that.
We're always educational here.
That's very true. And the people honestly don't respect it as much as they should.
Ditte's gift isn't just for her, it's for you. The pet owner who knows there's more to your animal than meets the eye. I read that totally wrong.
That happens quite often.
Yeah. Ditte's gift isn't just for you. God damn. Overall, though, I've done pretty good getting through this one.
Yeah, no, it's been pretty smooth. I'm actually wildly surprised.
Ditte's gift isn't just for her, it's for you. The pet owner who knows there's more to your animal than meets the eye. She insists telepathy isn't a superpower, it's a skill. One you can learn with practice and heart. She says start with meditation. Not chanting for hours, but a quiet moment to still your mind. Then talk to your pet like a friend. Say, we're going to the vet. And picture the car ride. Say, I'll be back at 6 and see the clock's hands. Pair your words with images and emotions, your calm, your love, and send them like a telepathic love letter because they're listening. And Ditte's advice is practical but profound. Know your own emotions first. If your cat sends a twinge of pain, you need to distinguish it from your own stress. Scan your body. Where do you carry tension or joy? Once you're clear, you'll feel what's theirs. Try it when your dog stares at you or your cat curls up beside you at just the right moment. Speak, visualize, feel, and then listen. The silence will speak back, maybe as an image, a warmth, or a knowing, or a bunch of raw meat. I wanted to think about my raw meat. The dog was dreaming of it. Got my ass chewed. Ditte's promise to every pet owner is this. Your animals are waiting to be heard, eager to deepen the bond you already feel. All it takes is your intention and a heart wide open.
Wow.
Sorry.
Wow.
That part is not in here, but it just set it up when I saw heart wide open.
You thinking about arms wide open? Can't get it out of your head. It happens.
Can't get it out of my head. It's close as I'll get to his crappy voice.
Yeah, that is admittedly so much worse than Scott Stapp's voice, though.
Sounds the same to me. You know, like that meme, that picture looks the same. Sounds the same.
It's the same image. Yeah.
Yeah.
Classic.
So we're not closing, but let's return to that little girl in Denmark hearing animals before she could name the gift.
Hell yeah.
No, we're not going to return to that.
Okay.
I'm going to tell you another story about her.
Okay.
2 stories.
Oh.
That I heard somewhere else. First one, she's working with a rider, a horse rider. And this horse would not jump over these fences or the steeples or whatever they're called for us poor people.
Okay.
It would like run up to it and stop all the time. So this rider or the rider's family or owner of the horse called her out. She came out to see the horse, and the horse told her that it was because of the water on the other side and the reflection. So the horse was afraid to jump over it because they couldn't figure out what was going on with the water.
Yeah.
So she communicated with the horse about that.
How did the horse communicate the problem, though?
I think images and feelings.
Okay, because I was going to say, like, that weird mirror that's on the other side of this thing that kind of ripples when bodies go past it, I was like, how would a horse even know what that is?
And I think what she says in a lot of her interviews is that there's images and feelings that come through, and she has to kind of interpret what they are.
Yeah.
But the horse went a little farther, and I don't think it was, if I remember right, it was the same girl that was having trouble later on with the horse.
Yeah.
And Ditte Young talked to the horse, and the horse said, I'm afraid she's hurt.
Yeah.
I'm afraid I'm going to hurt her when I jump and do this stuff.
How thoughtful.
So Ditte told the girl and her family this. The girl went into the doctor. She had like early onset rheumatoid arthritis or some sort of arthritis that the horse was concerned about hurting her.
Yeah, that is insane.
So she communicated with the horse, and the girl kind of did,
Mm-hmm.
and the horse was okay after that.
Yeah, that knowing that is literally insane.
Yeah. And then there was another story, and this one I believe was on the. I thought they mentioned the podcast story earlier when she communicated with these people.
Mm.
And I don't know if it's the same story, but the story I heard about, she's talking to the podcast host.
Yeah.
And it was just like kind of a let's test it out kind of theory. I have this dog that is a rescue from somebody else that had passed away. And it's just, it's miserable. Goes and sits in the corner all by itself. It's kind of old, kind of blind. And just,
hey, aren't we all,
Yeah, not social at all. So I assume it was some kind of Zoom or something. And I'm listening to this interview, and she's telling the podcast host, basically, your dog thinks you're going to abandon it because it's been left behind and ignored twice before.
Yeah.
So it's afraid to even put out effort. And it can't, like, you put it outside thinking that it wants to be outside, but your dog can't see. So it's not worth it. You can't see across the yard and feel comfortable.
Yeah.
And they just think this dog thinks you're going to abandon it at some point, like it's already been abandoned. So, I mean, the host is crying, the host partner is crying. Weeks later, after hearing this, the relationship with this old dog gets a lot better, and the dog seems much happier.
Wild. Makes you feel really bad.
Why?
You know, times they like you get rid of animals or whatever.
Yeah.
And then there's just this like instant.
Got my ass chewed.
Oh my God, no. There's this instant trauma, But like as a kid, I couldn't keep a dog because I didn't take care of him very well. So my dad would always get rid of him, And so it was only I'd only have him for like a year, maybe, if even that.
Yeah. But I mean, that's also part of learning to deal with animals. You have to be somewhat responsible. And if we looked at it more like this, wouldn't it be easier to be more responsible if it wasn't just a dumb animal? If it was somebody that, and from later on having cats and stuff like that you grow close to animals.
Yeah. And you also know that cats, they can hold, a vendetta for quite some time. All right. Do not mess with those cats. They will remember for the rest of their lives. And every time you walk by them, they're like, yeah, you remember what you did, you asshole.
But haven't you told us about like telepathic communication with your cat?
Mm-hmm. There's been times like I can literally ask her to do something and then she'll do it. Like there was some wild stuff with the cat that I had to abandon because my ex changed the locks. And that's a story for a different podcast. But for this one, yeah.
Well, now we know the cat got your ex back for doing that.
Probably not.
But I mean, Bristol. I had a weird relationship with her. Like she just read my mind, it seemed like most of the time.
Yeah.
And it was pretty weird.
It was pretty weird. That is true. Very true.
Have any other thoughts you want to go on over with Ditte Young before I tell some other stories about supposedly psychic or telepathic pets?
Telepathic pets and other bullshit. No,
that might be the title.
That'd be hilarious if that was the title for this episode. No, I think that is insane. But it also kind of,
makes sense,
it
right? It
verifies something that everyone kind of thinks about growing up. They're like, I think we have a special connection. And actually, I'm being reminded of a moment that I'm now kind of upset about, thinking the same cat that let, when I woke up and she died, when we first got her, I thought I was having a moment with her. She was like laying on my bed and I'm just kind of like laying 2 inches in front of her and like, oh, this sweet new cat that we got, and I'm just looking dead in her eyes. She's looking in my eyes and then she scratched the fuck out of my face. And now that feels personal, now it's not just an animal instinct thing. She was like, man, what the fuck is this kid doing in my head?
Maybe. Yeah, exactly. Maybe she was trying to be like, I'm talking to you. Listen.
Oh, or no, I think there was it felt like there was intent behind it.
Maybe you should.
But she did, I did win in the end because she died. So there's that. But she was sweet and I do miss her. And it was sweet that she let me come say goodbye to her before she passed on through to the other side. A lot of fun memories coming up in this episode, Christian. Well done.
I'm glad I could bring them out in you. All right, let's talk. We're going to move away from Ditte. Check her out. She's cool. We're going to talk about Nikisi, the African gray parrot. I'm not a bird fan.
Okay.
I just don't communicate on that level with them.
But they physically will talk to you, Christian. Okay, you can communicate with them on that level.
Talking is not just...
You don't even have to guess.
Talking's not really communicating. It's just making sounds.
Wow, what is this, a TED Talk now? If you really stop and think about it, guys, no.
So this parrot, who doesn't just squawk, but holds actual conversations, as you were saying.
Wow, I'm just too good.
She has a vocabulary, of around 950 words, and researcher Rupert Sheldrake, who is a biologist, I feel like we've talked about him before, known for his unconventional ideas, and Amy Morgana, kind of a witchy name.
Witchy woman.
Which is Nikisi's owner, decided to push the boundaries of what we think animals can do. They wanted to test Nikisi. So here's how the test happened. They set up experiments with Nikisi and Morgana where they were in different rooms or different spaces.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes soundproof rooms, sometimes on different floors of a building. Morgana would focus.
She'd focus.
Morgana would focus on a specific image like a beach, a car, or a flower. And Nikisi's job was to name what Morgana was looking at without any visual or auditory cues. So Nikisi's perched in her room, maybe tilting her head like she's tuning into something. And then she says, flower or car right on cue. Nikisi got it right way more often than random chance would allow.
Weird.
One of the coolest moments came when Jane Goodall, familiar with her, right?
Monkey business, yeah.
Yeah. The legendary primatologist, as they properly are named. Without any prior mention of chimps, Nikisi looked at her and cheekily asked, "Got a chimp?"
Wow.
So it was like Nikisi was picking up on Goodall's vibe or life's work.
Kind of like the Beach Boys did.
Again, yeah. Sheldrake's data on this is at his website, sheldrake.org.
Sheldrake.
So I feel like I should mention skeptics for a second.
No.
There are plenty who aren't buying the telepathy angle. They argue there could have been sensory leakage.
Well, I'm sorry, what?
Just moving on. Like tiny sounds or vibrations Morgana didn't realize she was making. Maybe Nikisi was picking up on super subtle cues, like a change in Morgana's breathing, or even faint smells, which seems kind of weird with a bird.
Doesn't that seem less likely than telepathy? Like all of those things, like there's a slight subtle vibration.
I think there's a very good chance of it happening if they were in the same room looking at each other.
Yeah.
Because animals will pick up on cues that you don't realize you're giving out. So, but it's an easy, like, in this case, for a skeptic to say that's what it is. But Sheldrake knows how to do science, so he puts them in another room to where you can't fake it, theoretically. Similar to like when they were studying remote viewing, they'd put these people in a soundproof room and not give them any information. Nobody was allowed to talk to them, or even nobody else was allowed to know what they were looking for.
Yeah.
Because they didn't want them to pick it up from them. And since you love dolphins so much...
No, actually, speaking of dolphins, before you go into that, do you think, you know how she sometimes would get images in her head?
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Do you think she was ever just with a dolphin and she's like, oh goodness, oh please, no, dear God, no, please stop.
You know, and here's what I would say about those dolphins that we hear those stories about. Mm-hmm. Those are usually, in all the stories I've heard, they're dolphins in captivity.
I've heard a story that was at a cove, I believe.
But most of those coves, those dolphins are still...
The thing is, Christian, it's not even the action, it's the ability of a dolphin's man bits, you know? The fact that it's like, it's technically like and it'll just like grab someone's leg and like pull them down. You know, like that is an intense thing to think about.
I've never thought about it. I've never even heard about it. And you know what? Whenever I think about dolphins,
please don't ever think about it again.
That's not going to be the first. I will never think about that again.
I assure you, and that's why I regret bringing it up, because it's impossible not to think about it. Okay, it's impossible not to think about it. There's a documentary out there. You can watch the whole thing, and then you're like, oh, goodness.
So you like dolphin porn?
I was forced to watch it out of sheer curiosity, pretty much.
Okay.
Out of just, there's no way this is a real thing. But yeah, dolphins kind of messed up. You know, don't look it up. If you like dolphins, please don't look it up. I beg you. Don't.
Everybody's heard the stories, but I'm pretty sure most of those dolphins are in some form of captivity. And even in that cove, most of those places make it to where those dolphins can't get away from those coves because they bring in tourists. So those dolphins are basically in prison. And we know what happens there. I don't personally, but I've heard.
Sounds like you're citing on the
HBO show.
Is that the Cove? Is that what it's called?
No, there's an the prison show HBO used to do a long time ago.
Oz?
Yeah.
Never seen it, but how did I know that, dude?
Me neither. I never saw it either.
But we both knew that it was great marketing. Way to go, Oz.
So anyway, John C. Lilly's Dolphins, which we've mentioned a couple times here. He was a scientist, of course. Who was part brainiac, part mystic, and totally obsessed with dolphins. Not as much as the dolphins were obsessed with him.
Okay.
Just kidding.
Oh. I was like, where are we headed, Christian?
Just kidding. Back in the 1950s and 60s, Lilly was convinced that dolphins weren't just smart, they were practically otherworldly. He thought they were aliens. No.
So long, and thanks for all the fish, dude.
Yeah, my words, not his.
I know you've seen Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Not in a long time.
Oh, my God.
I played it. I used to play the game back on a Commodore 64.
The game? I thought it was a book.
Yeah, they had some version of it on the Commodore 64.
Wow.
Back in the 80s.
Wild.
Yeah. He believed they could communicate in ways that went beyond clicks and whistles, maybe even projecting thoughts or emotions directly to human minds. I'm not sure I heard that, but we're going to go with it for this story. Lilly's experiments were unconventional. He worked with dolphins in free interactions, letting them swim alongside humans. And we're going to, that traumatizing part about the dolphins?
Yeah.
Put that back in your head. I forgot. You're going to need it here in a minute.
Trauma.
So the humans were swimming along with the dolphins, basically they built this place where the dolphins could swim right in and had a room.
Horrible idea.
So he also used sensory deprivation setups where humans floated in isolation tanks to see if they could tune into the dolphin. His big claim, dolphins might use their sonar, their biological echolocation system, not just to find fish, but to find sexual conquest in Scott's mind. But
in my mind or in reality,
no,
Christian?
The words say, but to transmit mental states. I just added that. Like emotions or the dolphin porn images Scott was obsessed with.
It's not an obsession. It's a fear. It's a primal fear of mine.
Imagine a dolphin pinging you with a sonar vibe that makes you shake. That makes you feel calm or see a middle picture on the ocean.
On second thought, dolphins, bring it on home. Why not?
Okay, we're going to get into some controversy here.
Oh, here. Okay.
One famous setup involved a researcher named Margaret Howe living with a dolphin named Peter in a flooded house.
I'm sorry. In a flooded house?
Like I told you, they built something that the dolphin could swim in and hang out with.
I did not visualize. That's like a scene from Jaws, man. That's terrifying.
It's probably a protected. Well, you're with dolphins.
Yeah, even more so terrifying.
The dolphins will kill the sharks. I feel like you never watched Flipper.
Wow, Christian, not the reference this episode needed, but.
So the idea was to immerse humans in the dolphins' world and see if some kind of mind-to-mind connection would emerge. Lilly reported moments where researchers felt like they were picking up emotions or intentions from dolphins, almost like a telepathic bond. He wrote about it in books like The Mind of the Dolphin, where he blended hard science with some pretty out there ideas. Mainstream science, which I hate that word, so let's just say science, wasn't exactly on board with Lilly's claims. Critics said he was projecting his own hopes onto the dolphins, seeing telepathy where there was just clever animal behaviors. Made it up. It says here, dolphins are incredibly intelligent, which we know, and horny.
Intelligent and horny, yes.
Again, I'm adding stuff in just to make Scott uncomfortable with dolphins.
Okay. Hey, you don't got to do much. All right there.
They have a complex social structure and can learn tricks that rival a dog's. I've been to SeaWorld. Those are kind of better than dog tricks.
Yeah, I've never seen a dog flying through the water on his back legs, all right?
Yeah.
Arms stretched, making this noise.
Yeah. Looking at all the girls in the
Oh, yeah.
stands.
Oh, yeah. You know it.
One of the things with Lily's experiments, he lacked tight controls, the type that helps you, that is important in rigorous science. And then he got into mysticism. He got people.
The dolphin?
No, Lily.
Oh.
Lily did a lot of LSD. He got that CIA LSD back in the 50s and 60s.
Hell yeah.
But that dolphin Peter, I'm going to tell you a little story about him. This is how I know about John Lilly's experiments. It was early on in the podcast days. I listened to Radio Lab, and they had a story on Peter. So Peter in dolphin years was basically a teenager.
Okay.
And he was pretty good about communicating, but he would get a little intense at times.
Was he camping?
No.
Okay.
So the way to calm him down was basically for the trainer or Margaret to reach down and...
The dolphin?
Yeah. I'm doing
see.
a hand signal here, but it's a perverted hand signal.
Yeah, go ahead and take a guess, fellas. That's disgusting, Christian. But I guess people do that for different animals.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's disgusting, all right? And now that we know that they have superpowers, we're pretty much enslaved by them, Christian, if you really sit and
I
think
hope to
about
be.
it.
They'd probably be a
Excuse
better
me?
world.
What, you want to just be giving handy J's to every animal all over creation? Dude?
No, I don't.
Oh,
but
God.
I live in this world, and I'm pretty sure the dolphins could do better if they weren't cooped up.
Do better than you? I
No,
don't
just
know.
do better than what we've produced.
I'm going to have so long, and thanks for all the fish stuck in my head now. Thanks, Christian.
Your fault, not mine. There was a lot of dolphin stuff, but
Well, I'm
I
sure
thought
there
that's-
was.
I thought that story was the best. So I'm going to go with one more. This one I put in here just for you, Scott.
I hope it's about dolphins.
So this one's a Reddit user's cat telepathy story.
Oh,
There's no information on who this was, so we'll just get into it. It's more modern and relatable.
my favorite things.
This was on Paranormal, the subreddit Paranormal at some point.
At some point, that's the worst credit
Yeah.
of all time. This
didn't
was in a
find-
subreddit.
I didn't find it on Reddit when I came across this story. Just doing the research, came across it.
Gotcha.
So anyway, the users were sharing stories about telepathic connections with their cats.
Hell yeah. Been there, everyone. Been there, users.
There was a quote that says, animals are easy. One of the user or Redditors said, animals are very easy. God damn it. Touch the screen.
Animals are very easy. God damn it. I touched the screen.
God damn it, Martini. Just taking it way back to my dad yelling. My dad yelling at his cat.
The cat's name is Martini.
Yeah, and that cat, or no, Martini was afraid of the bird because it killed a bird, and my dad just went off on it. But Martini, or the bird, coughed, one of the birds. Yeah.
I am so confused as to the way you're laying this out. You gotta start from the top of that.
Okay, Martini was a Himalayan Siamese cat, the white and gray ones. Very
Okay.
cool cat. Obviously, my dad drank a lot, so it was named Martini.
Gotcha.
He was afraid of the bird because it had killed a bird earlier, and my dad's old school, so I'm sure my dad let the cat have it.
Yeah.
But the other bird they had that Martini became afraid of could cough and cuss like my dad. Because my dad had a smoker's cough.
Yeah.
So
I would love to hear a coughing, swearing bird.
yeah, this one did it. And this bird would say, "God damn it, Martini!"
Wow.
And my dad, like the way my dad did it.
That is hilarious.
Yeah.
What type of bird was this?
One of those green parrot birds. I don't know, bird. I already told you I'm not a big fan of.
Not a big aviary man.
Like I love to bird watch. I don't want to have pet birds.
Yeah, well, it's just kind of weird. You know, they just sit in a cage. And then when you're like, it's night-night, you put a blanket on, they're like, oh, shit, it's night. Good night.
Yeah.
That's kind of like me, though. In the summer, we just don't go to sleep. But then in the winter, it's, we go to sleep at 3 p.m. because it's dark as hell.
Yeah.
I'm a bird. Turns out, hey, if you're a bird, I'm a bird. The Notebook. Sorry. Good night.
So I don't think. Okay, let me tell you what this Redditor said.
Okay, please.
Animals are very easy to communicate with. I usually get images from them like food and the feeling like I like to give them some food.
Wait, what?
So is your animal like trying to convince you like to give me food?
You really
give me
like
food?
Yeah, you
That
really
takes
like
it to
that.
another level.
I told you, it's control now. We are controlled. Nobody else.
That's why it makes sense when birds aren't real. The pigeons have convinced us they're not real.
Yeah. We solved it.
You're welcome, folks. God, I still haven't finished that quote, have I?
No, I don't believe you have.
Okay. Animals are very easy to communicate with. I usually get images from them like food and the feeling that I like to give them some food. One cat communicated something like, humans are so easy to manipulate.
But excuse me, Greg? What?
Your cat's name was Greg?
I would name a cat Greg. I'm actually, you know what? I'm going to. China doesn't get a choice.
That's not a cool name, man.
No, it's the best name because I want... Okay, I just got to break this down for you for 30 seconds. Cats get the zoomies at night, you know? The little greebles. And so they run around, bouncing off the walls. I just want my neighbors to hear me screaming at someone named Greg at 3 a.m. and then having the cops show up and having to explain back, what? No, Greg is my cat.
Good luck, man.
Yeah, I still got to convince China, but she named the kids. I get to name the cats, all right?
Only fair.
Remember that when I come to name a cat. I'm going to call on you. I'm back. Your dad agrees.
I do not agree. I like better names than that.
No, Greg's fine. Sorry to all our Greg listeners.
Faustus.
Fausty.
Isn't that Faustus is the devil, right?
Fauci?
Faust.
I don't know, a little close there, Christian. How about you finish the quote for once? My God.
I have touched my screen multiple times and lost myself.
Lucky screen.
So, Redditors describe similar experiences. One poster talked about sitting quietly with their cat and suddenly seeing a mental image of a favorite toy, only to find the cat staring at it across the room. And
didn't say anything?
Cats don't talk, man. Not with their voice.
I don't know.
They talk with their mind and their emotions and their hate. So another user on the subreddit, Psychic, described feeling their cat's emotions like anxiety before a vet visit without any obvious clues. And the process of hearing them isn't like hearing a voice. It's more like a flash of intuition, a sudden image, feeling, or even a phrase that pops into your head. One user compared it to daydreaming with purpose, where you open your mind and let the cat's thoughts flow in.
That sounds like a horrible idea.
Yeah. The humans are easy to manipulate.
Does this
suggest cats know exactly how to push your buttons?
Okay, does this sound like, not to take it in a weird direction, but Egypt, right? How they worshipped cats pretty much?
Yeah.
Do you think Egypt is already fascinating enough as it is, right? Is this why they also did that? Do they know something about cats that they're hell-bent on world domination or something?
Maybe they didn't know something about cats, but maybe cats said, you will worship me.
Yeah, what if the cats conceived of everything?
Yeah, it was one cat, Bastet. You will worship Bastet, they said. You will make statues of me and put me in the tombs with your pharaohs.
Well, there you have it. Wow, unlocking so many gems.
So, I mean, and it's easy to do the skeptical take on this, but I think it's one of those things where if you've had a close relationship with an animal, you know something's up.
Yeah.
And sure, sometimes the animal can look at you and read you or can smell your emotions. But there's times, like the many times that an animal will be waiting for you at home when you walk in the door.
Yeah.
Or
know when you're coming down the street, which is even crazier.
Yeah. And there's plenty of reports about animals who have, your partner's at home with the animal and the animal knows you're going to be home in like 5 minutes. So at that point, you're too far away for this cat to hear this.
Yeah.
The weird, knocking of your car engine that nobody else can hear, but it knows. So
now I'm going to recap what you just said. You're saying that people that experience these things are all too familiar with the reality of this situation, right? Like that this animal does know me.
Well, there is.
Whereas like people that never had pets would be like, that sounds made up. Hogwash.
And maybe not everybody that hasn't had pets, but
pretty much all of them.
When you kind of meet people that have never had pets, you're like, you're a little suspicious of them in a lot of cases.
Sure, but what I'm saying, if I think you already know where I'm headed with this.
But this you can be you can prove this stuff. You can prove this stuff.
This is what I'm saying. Okay, like so you did all that. Now do ghosts. Now turn animals, just replace the word animals with ghosts. Spirits, demons, angels, God, whatever you want to do.
Most of those things you listed are not true. Spirits, maybe true.
But it's a little
Ghost,
hypocritical, no? To
demons.
Be okay with the animals because you like animals and be like, you know what, I can see that, but not be okay with demons and ghosts and whatnot.
I mean, demons absolutely make no sense to me. Ghost, I can kind of see why people think there's ghost, but it's the people who have the experiences with these things saying, "Hey, I experienced this," and you being like, "No, that's probably in your head." But if it's with an animal, it's like I could see that being a thing. But, you know what I mean? Like, but most of these stories I shared,
okay,
there is proof, and unfortunately,
what proof?
The pregnancy could be a coincidence. Yes, with Ditte Young,
50-50 chance, you know.
Could be.
Yeah.
Another thing about Ditte Young is I believe her son that she was pregnant with at the time. I didn't put that in here because, you know, there's not enough time to go through her whole life. But her son is communicative. So
communicative.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not going to say that.
I think he's autistic, basically.
Yeah. Well, I got that part. Yeah.
So, and that's why she was familiar with the telepathy tapes. And then I looked into her a little bit more, and she's very fascinating. There's a lot of cases like the girl with arthritis where there's some backup.
Yeah, that was an interesting one where, okay, that is a superpower, like 100%.
Or that parrot we talked about knowing these things, even though the person wasn't in the same room. You know, there's different connections. And you got to remember, I think our consciousness is able to communicate with a lot of things around us, including animals.
Yeah.
Or they're able to understand what our consciousness better than we give them credit for in certain sense.
Interesting correlation there with the people that say Bigfoot is telepathic.
I mean,
could Bigfoot just be an animal that is telepathic?
Well, I mean, if Bigfoot exists, Bigfoot is an animal because, I mean, technically so are we. Yeah. But Bigfoot's also an animal that's built similarly to us. So you would think in that case, it might be easier to make that connection. And if animals are like this, and maybe our intentions should be a little bit different in general.
Yes. Where does it stop, though? With animals, where does it?
Peace on Earth.
No. I'm not talking like that. Where does it with the animals? If animals think this way and have these abilities or whatever, what animal does it stop at? Or do we get down to like insects?
Well, I mean,
is it like the fly knows that I'm depressed? Like, what is
I think the fly would be a similar, like, you know, the goldfish thing.
Yeah.
And the bird. Food.
Yeah.
The fly.
No, fly, don't even get me started
flies
on the
flies. Are like maggots. I must leave maggots.
Yeah. Flies just want to throw up and shit on you constantly and rub their hands together like super villains. Man, it doesn't make sense. But
it makes more sense that if you can possibly grasp this part of it, that maybe we should just be better humans in general. Our intentions should be a little bit better. And we should definitely treat animals a lot better.
Maybe. Yeah.
Which is a struggle because I'm not a vegetarian.
That's true. And cows are incredibly smart. Is it cows?
I mean,
are cows incredibly dumb? No, cows are incredibly loving is what it is. They're very sweet. They're very sweet animals. So, found it, figured it out. Interesting. Wow, what a crazy episode, Christian. Great idea.
This one's been bugging me for a while. I think I've mentioned it like 3 or 4 times.
3 or 4?
In the last few months.
Oh, okay.
Because I've been working on... Actually,
trying to find a good angle is what
I started working on something else, and this one kind of like, this is perfect.
Could you say that maybe it called out to you telepathically?
Some animal did.
The animal within. Yeah. Beautiful stuff. Well, good stuff. Yeah.
Let us know what you guys think. And share your experiences. I'm sure.
We got a lot of animal lovers in the Facebook group for sure. Teresa probably got stories for days.
That's true.
I know I do with my cats.
I mean, I do with my dogs. I mean, I had a dog, like when my parents first separated, they got me a dog.
Yeah.
That dog, that was like a great thing to do for me. It was very close. His name was Happy. I think I brought him up here before, but my best buddy for years. And him and then Bristol later on. Sometimes I felt like both of them were in my mind.
Yeah.
They knew what I needed when I needed it.
Animals, man.
Yeah.
You're right. The people that don't like animals at all, it's kind of like a crazy thing about them, you know?
Yeah, I don't trust anybody that's an animal hater.
Yeah.
And I give them a break if they didn't have an animal growing up. That's not their choice a lot of times because all kids want animals usually, unless they've been bitten by a dog or something.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, before we go, a childhood memory with a horse.
Oh.
And now that we've done this episode, I'm starting to think if there was some telepathic thing.
It sounds like there might have been.
Because my dad took me to some farm of his buddies or something. They had a horse that walked around in a circle on a rope. Well, this horse would go in this circle, but there was a metal bar going across that the horse fit under.
Yeah.
But me sitting on the back of the horse did not go under. I saw this, and I was too young to be smart enough. I saw this bar come up, and I heard the ringing of the bar in my head and opened my eyes. I was on my back on the ground with my dad and his friend over me.
Wow.
Horse walked me right into a bar, knocked me off its back.
There might have been a little bit of maybe some rough patch there.
Yeah,
you know?
now I see it in a whole new light now.
That's what I'm saying. The same with the cat that scratched my face.
It's personal.
Yeah.
And I've never enjoyed horses the same since. I've been horseback riding a couple times, but it was not the most enjoyable experience.
Yeah. I've never been. That sounds weird. The idea of just being on top of an animal while it walks me somewhere just sounds really messed up. You know, I don't know why, but it just does.
I mean, it's...
Especially now, you know, they're smart. Like the horse is like, this dude literally just on my back, making me walk 35 miles.
But
while he's sightseeing?
Yeah.
No, dude.
No. I mean, there's a reason why John Wick worked.
That is true. Yeah. You're going to hit like the absolute 100% core of where someone's like, you know what? Yeah, I'm snapped. It's time.
Yeah. And they took like Keanu Reeves, who everybody generally is like, oh, I love Keanu Reeves. And then they kill his dog, and you're like, now I understand why he's going to kill everybody.
Someone has to pay for this. Yeah.
I'm okay with this.
Yeah. Animals, man. I got to be honest. This is a very thought-provoking episode, Christian. You probably didn't think that when you're putting it together, but it is. I like that. And I'm excited. I think a lot of people are actually going to like this a lot too.
Yeah, I hope so. It was a fun one to look into.
They're going to be chatty.
And it did kind of fall into my lap because I was thinking of something totally different. I'm like, this is amazing.
Wait, what if animals thought? Yeah. Hell yeah, dude. And with that, we bid you all adieu. We'll see you right back here next week on another episode of the Freaky-Deaky. Remember to go to holler.baby/thefreakydeaky to get a shout out or ad read for your business, or visit thefreakydeaky.com to buy some dope merch, sticker packs, all the cool stuff, guys. I promise it's better than anything you've ever seen in your life. And now I regret saying that because that's such a high bar, but it's fine. Get over there and buy something, support the show, donate. We'll see you next week. Goodbye.
Bigfoot is stalking by your window. Dog man is scratching at your door. Ghosties are walking up and down your halls at night, and the hat man is coming back for more. Your name is Christian. You love a can of beans. You're the wettest blanket skeptic this world has ever seen. You're almost always wrong. It's quite an impressive streaky. This song has rambled on too long. Welcome to the Freaky Deaky. Your name is Christian. Your name Byron. and now you get roasted weekly. This song has rambled on too long. Welcome to the freaky deaky. Also ghosts exist. Just an FYI. Aliens are